Okay, in this video I'm talking about the fear of failure. How do you overcome the fear of failing at things in life that you want to do? Well, I can answer that question straight away. The way that you overcome the fear of failure is by thinking about failure differently, and I'll explain. This isn't as easy as you just watching this video and going, okay, yep, I'm going to think about failure in a positive way and that's going to solve all my fears and issues with it. If only it was that easy. It's more difficult than that, but if you change your mindset, you'll enjoy difficult challenges in life because they will give you the best results. Right, so most people won't do new things in their life. The reason why they won't do new things, whether they admit it or not, is because they're scared that they're going to fail and they're not going to be good enough. People don't want to deal with those feelings because it doesn't feel nice to a lot of people when they fail at something. And within failure, that could be people laughing at you, that could be people judging you, or that could just be your own emotional reaction to not getting what you want, or quote unquote failing at something. So most people, they won't attempt to do new things, but they'll complain about how unhappy they are in their life, how unfair it is, and so forth. So what you actually need to do is, this is what I did many years ago when I started out with self-help and I started my own business, I started teaching and I started approaching everything in my life that I was frightened of. Talking to women, talking to people, learning to sell on the phone, selling in person, making YouTube videos, giving public talks, interviewing other people, going on interview shows. I put myself out there in every way I could possibly do so, especially in my own personal social fears, going out to new places, joining gyms, meeting different people, going to new places, etc., traveling. So when you approach something that you want to do and you take action, if you fail, that's when you're going to start learning about how to overcome failure, because there's always two decisions to make when you fail, isn't there? Number one is to go, okay, quit, I must not be good enough. Or number two is to go, actually, I'm never going to quit. I'm never going to give up till I reach my goal. And within that decision, you can go, okay, what could I do differently? Maybe there is something that I'm doing wrong, my approach, the method, the strategy, whatever it is. What can I do better? Maybe you can ask a mentor, ask someone who's succeeded where you want to succeed, or ask someone who is a good supportive influence, someone who can say, I think you need to change that. You're doing that good, but that needs to change, or everything needs to change. If you're someone who is strong enough and you're not as sensitive and you can handle feedback and make those changes, that's one of the most powerful ways to overcome the fear of failure. And it's all about going through it. Most people don't go through failures in life, which is why they're so scared of it. You're always going to be scared of what you avoid. I'll say it again, you'll always be frightened of what you avoid because it's the unknown to you. It will always feel worse. It will always feel worse in your own mind than it will in reality. So I'll give you examples. When I first, many years ago, started going out and practicing talking to girls because I wanted to get a girlfriend, that was my long-term goal. I really wanted a relationship. I got turned down by so many women. And a lot of people at the time would make fun of me and laugh at me and tell me that it's not going to work. They're not going to go out of me. But I knew different. I knew what they were saying wasn't true because I'd broken further ahead with my self-confidence. I started to gain more experiences. So even though at the time I was failing with women, I wasn't getting a date, I wasn't getting a girlfriend, I was getting turned down. A lot of women were not responding to my messages, they weren't phoning me back. I was still single, nothing was changing. But what was changing is I was getting stronger inside. And I was actually getting more confidence. So that might sound, it's not logical, it might even sound slightly abstract. A lot of people would think, well, how would you be getting more confident if you were failing at something? Well, that's what you don't understand, like many things in life that people don't understand until they experience them for themselves. Yes, you are right on one level at the start. It was really catastrophic to my self-confidence and a lot of people because I was getting toned down and it was confirming all my insecurities. And the fear of failure kind of comes from the fear of not being good enough, right? So when you're failing at something, initially there will be a private inner conversation that will say, so you're not good enough because you're not getting the result. But if you stick at it, something starts changing. You just go to another level. It's hard to explain intellectually. That's why it's difficult for me to explain intellectually, why I always encourage people to go out, take action for themselves and experience it for yourself. So what happened to me was at the start, yes, the failures affected me, but then the failures actually started giving me confidence, giving me fuel, because I was like, hang on a minute, this was the thing I was terrified of. I was frightened to death. This is why I didn't take action for so many years in every area of my life, not just with getting a relationship, with business, with career, with small things, going out in public, starting projects, speaking in front of a camera, public speaking, doing personal goals like fitness goals, changing my fashion. I didn't do any of these things. Maybe you're going through this at the moment. You're not doing pretty much nothing because you're so scared of the rejections and the failure. So when I realized how brave I was, it really started to change my attitude. And then guess what happened? I got a girlfriend. The result came a little bit later on because I made some of the adjustments. I changed my insecurities. I fixed certain things I was doing wrong. And I was obviously grateful for the things that I was doing right. So I promised you on this channel I would educate you, which I'm doing today. I would educate you on the matter of fear. I would inspire you to take action, which I'm doing. And I would give you the tools, give you the personal tools to go away so you can practice, which I'm doing. So the tools are, the first tool is you have to actually change the way that you relate to failure and not see it like everyone else does. Most people, they just think it's so bad. And the second tool is you have to take action. That's the tool, and within taking action, all the tools get built on the inside. The private tools that people can't initially see, but these are the most effective tools. You can't see these tools, like a hammer or a chisel or a paintbrush or a drill. You can't see them on the outside, but they develop on the inside, and eventually those inner tools, those inner confidence, they get the results that you want. So that's an example. Another example I'm going to give you is I started this new YouTube channel. Some of you may not know me before. You might not know that I was very successful. I've got another YouTube channel. It's got over 5 million views. It's got 32,000 fans. But a lot of people you might not know. You might see this new channel and think, oh, it's a small channel. It's only got 135 subscribers. But I don't think of it like that because I was so successful before. I know I can do it again. And if I fail, I don't care. What matters to me is that I help a lot of people, I follow my heart, follow my dreams, and I take action. So I don't care if I fail because I've got confidence and I've experienced failure so many times in my life, and it wouldn't affect me as much as it probably would the average person. And I mean that arrogantly, it's just true. Secondly, I believe in myself. I know that if I stick at it and I'm helping as many people as I can with this project, I've already got positive reference experience with succeeding. So failure equals success. And it's something that you only really embody this through practice. And as I said, you get stronger. You can only get weak by not experiencing things. Toughness, strength, however you look at it. A boxer. Boxers become so strong. The average person can't relate to a boxer. They'd be like, I couldn't get punched in the face. Well, you couldn't. If you change your mindset and you practiced it, then you actually could. Obviously, if you really wanted to do it, right? So it doesn't really matter what area of life you're afraid to fail in. As long as you're willing to practice and go through the failures, you're going to grow in confidence, and eventually you're going to figure out you're going to get success. So failure is temporary. Regret is forever. Most people have regrets because they don't take action. They don't go and do the things that they want to do. They make excuses. They blame other people. They say it's this, it's the economy, it's this person. And it's not. It's down to the individual. So let me know in the box below, what is it that you've been wanting to do for a long time but you haven't done it because of the failure? The failures are good. You have to get them to toughen up. And it's not logical. Most of success is not logical. It's not like a lot of other things. Like it would be logical to say, okay, there's no milk in my fridge. The logic is obviously go to the supermarket, buy some more milk. It doesn't apply with the things we're talking about today, which is why I've challenged many people over the years who just don't understand the truth of what I'm talking about because they've never actually gone and done it. They've never taken the action that I have or somebody else has. Many of my friends, many of my former students. So through taking action, your attitude will change. When you see how it makes you feel, when you start gaining more confidence, you stop caring about what people think. That's what happened to me. I just didn't care. It can't stop you anymore because you've gained that strength and confidence through the action. So that's it. That's the lesson today. You overcome the fear of failure by going through the failures, and by, obviously, like I said earlier, be willing to change things you need to change. You don't just fail and keep failing forever. Obviously, that would be unintelligent. You obviously look in ways in which you can change the things that you're doing wrong. But despite changing the things that you're doing wrong, you've got to recognise the things you're doing right. And what you're doing right is you're taking action. Everything counts when you take action. But most people don't take action. They read books, they re-quote what they've read, and they think that's taking action. That's not. They're deceiving themselves. They think, repeating knowledge that someone's wrote in a book and wisdom, which is great wisdom, but it's wisdom that comes from an individual who took the action and then has come back to tell the story. Well, you can't come back to tell the story if you've not gone out and taken action, because your story is going to be based on theory rather than actual fact. So there you go. Become fearless, because when you do, your life will become more limitless. Go away, try this. Let me know in the box below the area where you most fear to approach. And as always, like the page, share, subscribe. See you in the next one.